Hello, Ectosage here on the Sage channel. It is Sleep, Art, Game, and Eat. And today a small update came out that added some very interesting stuff. And if we go to here, we go to Custom World. We actually don't need the names, I already have a world set up. But most of this is the same, except for if you look here at the very bottom, you'll see there is a cargo ships toggle. This is slightly misleading. There are more than cargo ships, but currently the ships, even though in the patch notes it says they are just automated ships that are going through, they're not really automated as much as they are just abandoned. They spawn into your sector, they drift through your sector without any AI control or anything. You hop in them, you turn on their inertial dampeners, you can capture them whatever you like, but they're more than just cargo ships, at least from names. You'll see once I get in there. So anyway, this is added, and by the way, this was also added in between this patch and the last one, just to allow you to toggle thruster damage if you want to deal with older types of ships that have their engines on the inside, as I usually do. Anyway, let me load up a level. Alrighty, so here we go in a level, and any second now, you'll see a new beacon actually show up. So let's just buzz about, and here we go. Yep, there it is. A new beacon showed up. I timed this properly because it's about every 10 minutes or so that a new ship jumps into your sector. And as I'm flying towards this new ship, that's a military mine layer that's just appeared. Again, remember, these don't actually have any AI in them yet. They're just basically set on an autopilot with their inertial dampeners off. So if someone set their course, inertial dampeners off. That's about all they act like. Anyway, but each sector is, predefined sort of maybe 30 meters across, or 30,000 meters across bit of space. And looking at the Reddit Q&A that recently was put out, it looks like in the future, at least in single player and hopefully eventually in multiplayer, if you fly to the edge of one of these sectors, it'll generate a new sector. So you'll go from your little clump of asteroids to a new, possibly randomly generated clump of asteroids. Now this is farther down the line, but that's sort of how you could think about it, how these keep popping in and out, or you could think about it how I prefer to think about it, which is where they have jump drives. And as I say, they got too close to these asteroids, they couldn't continue through jump space, they had to sort of jump out right here, and then once they're clear of your sector, they'll jump out into space again, which is actually what happens. They appear like this one did, and then they disappear again. Now, if you try to stick with them as they reach that faraway jumping point, they won't actually disappear. They only seem to disappear as long as you can't actually... Sorry, bumped my mic. You can't actually see the ship itself. Anyway, let me now cut ahead till we're actually there. This is an awful long flight to catch up with this one. Alright, so here we go, getting in nice and close. You can see it is indeed a military mine layer. Oh, okay, let's not actually hit it. And if we were flying around to the back, you can see it's full of a bunch of mines. Now, a lot of these ships are booby-trapped, and what that means isn't that they have like an automated turret on the inside or something that'll blow you away if you pop a door open. Which in the future I'm sure they will once they get the faction system in and all the turrets work. But what it means is, basically with engine damage on, they have an engine somewhere inside of this thing pointing directly at a mine. So if you just hop in here and try to activate its automated piloting system, you're probably going to find yourself blown up. But let's just try anyway really quickly, just to demonstrate some of the troubles you can find. I can't remember, exactly if this ship was one of the ones that was booby-trapped, but I suspect it probably is, especially considering it's a military ship. So let's just lock you in place, hop out of here, and get in there. And by the way, if this ship was moving at its maximum speed of 100 and whatever it is meters per second, you can now catch up with a ship that's getting away from you, because your little character can now fly faster than large ships can. And you might say that's a bit silly, considering the character is obviously going to have smaller engines, but part of the idea behind that is, well, you don't want to lose your ships, and also if you're walking around a ship that's going at maximum speed, in the past you would have had a little bit of trouble walking around. Now, because your maximum speed is higher than the ships, no matter what, you shouldn't have too much trouble walking about. So anyway, let's hop in here. And let's really quickly go ahead and, first off, enable our gravity on this nice little ship. Gravity generator there. By the way, you can just turn off its name, Military Minesweeper. That's just a beacon, nothing special there. And now, oops, I think I put the wrong button there. Yeah, I pushed Y as soon as I got out of that. There we go. So now we got gravity in the ship, which for this ship isn't too important since it's up and down thing, but I'm pretty sure this ship does have a mine hidden somewhere inside with an engine. I just can't remember where. So it looks like we're just going to have to risk it and hope I'm wrong. So let's go ahead to the bridge. Let's hop up here and we'll enable our inertial dampeners. Yep, there was definitely a mine there. And I'd say if I had... Oh, actually, I can't seem to move. Am I still in the cockpit? I am. Okay, cool. Wow. I would say, though, if I had not been in the cockpit, if I had been walking around anywhere else in the ship, I probably would have been killed. And I think that mine... Yeah, it's even severed the back part of the ship. And I think I possibly might have lost my little ship that I got over here in. So, yeah. Yep, it's gone. So that's something you definitely got to be cautious about. Anyway, let me now head back to base. I'll show you a few of the other ones that I found drifting through your sector. They're all random, and there's actually, I counted about, I think it was 8 or 9 different types, and I think there's probably even more because I found a few new ones just today. Or I mean just in the last like 10 minutes. Alrighty, so here we are back at base, and you see a few ships that I grabbed earlier. That's an awfully long flight, by the way, so I'd only suggest chasing after these if you see one that you know has a lot of supplies on it, or you really want to take over or scrap, because, let's see, we got this military ship here. This is actually called a military escort. Currently it doesn't actually escort anything. I hope in the future it will, but if you were to find one of these, go ahead and board it. You would probably want to remove this piece right here, because if we're to cut away at this, you'll find something pretty quickly. There you go. There's a mine right behind that. Now, of course, you can just do that and well all the mine's disabled, but you'd probably also maybe want to just cut all the way through the mine, get rid of it. A bunch of parts you're going to have now, too, and then you can just take out the interior thruster in there. That way you don't have to worry about that thruster shooting up and doing some damage. You could also do this, of course, by mining out a block on the outside, but this way you can actually be on the ship itself. And there we go. Disabled thruster. Now, of course, this ship, being a military one, will have something a bit interesting. It's got some engine parts here, but I believe if we looked over, yeah, right here, well, you're going to have yourself some weapons, so that's nice. You don't have to worry about building your own weapons if you run across one of these ships and can currently board it, especially since currently the weapons on the outside won't shoot at you. And of course, then you could just pilot it back once you've disabled that bomb, all the way back to your base without any issue. Bit slow, but you get the drift. You'll actually have it back here. That'll be a plus. Also, with the other ships I have found, if we fly out here, are more civilian ships. I believe one of them was called a private sail, and one of them was just a private transport of some sort. This one here, the bigger of the two, is actually, well, it's full of pretty much everything you need to get going, at least when it comes to a machine standpoint. So if we hop in here, I don't know where there's a bomb on this one. I don't know exactly where it is. I know it's somewhere in the front, but you can see here we got cargo detonators with lots of solar panel stuff, a lot of uranium, at least one uranium, some more parts here, and of course, if you were to fly over to the other side, a whole bunch of stuff over here. It's very, very cool. A lot of their ships that they've put in this update, I actually like an awful lot. They're pretty damn interesting. And I think there's actually a refinery hidden in one of these somewhere. Not in one of these containers, but I mean in one of the ships. And you got partially built assemblers too, so if you wanted to finish those off, then you could start building on a lot of stuff. It's very, very cool. And by the way, this bridge in this ship was at the end of that first hallway, if you go up a ladder into the bridge. And I think the bombs are somewhere hidden in there, but good luck finding those without blowing yourself to bits. Also, this little ship over here is the third one I was able to get my hands on easily enough. And, well, this one's a super simple one, except for the strange thing about this one is at the back here, there's actually a metal plate in your way, sort of the steel catwalk. And you have to basically cut your way through this to be able to access this ship, which is a bit different, but it's pretty cool. And it's the only ship that actually feels like it should just be set on a drift course, and it's sealed up like that. And this one doesn't actually have a bomb in it or anything you have to worry about like that, which is pretty cool. Another small thing they did today, which I can't properly demonstrate here because I'm not in survival, but basically they've changed the priority of solar panels. And what I mean by that is, in the past, if you had solar panels and uranium, and you had basically the ship set up like this, where it's not moving, it's not really draining much power, but there maybe is a few lights somewhere on it, the uranium is still going to get used up very, very slowly. They've changed the priority, so if there is enough power coming from the solar panels, the uranium will not be used at all. So you can basically have your ship last indefinitely in standby mode without having to worry about your uranium just randomly dropping down. Anyway, that's about it. That's about all they did. I don't know, it's not the biggest update in and of itself, but it shows things that are coming. Once the turrets are in here, you could imagine them maybe even getting simple AI to pilot ships like past your station, and they've talked about possibly having ships colliding or spawn with a collision course for your stuff or beacons or whatnot. There's lots of stuff that's coming. This is sort of just a little taste of it. Anyway, thanks a bunch for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Oh, and by the way, check this out. If I copy this ship and throw it, that bomb goes off. Yeah, I don't exactly know why that happens. Oh, it didn't that time. Did that time. Yeah, pretty cool. Anyway, thanks a bunch again for watching. See you next time.